So you're bidden back into the council chamber to meet Lord Percival again. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll sit down for dinner shortly. And
so can I just have an action running in the background?
Yeah, sure.
Because I feel like this would take a while.
Yeah.
I'm going to send the results through the Sonic back to the TARDIS to interface to see if there's any other planets or instances of such a thing.
Okay, it's going to take a little while to go through that.
That's why I thought if I started the scan, the data transfer now.
Sure. That's cool. Okay. Right. Okay, so you're bidden back into the chamber, and as you walk in, Orla, if you can make an awareness plus ingenuity roll, please.
Okay. 14.
14. As you walk in, you look up, and there is a very, very well-dressed lady in her mid-30s with ginger hair looking down from a balcony over the council chamber. This person, whoever this is, says, "My lord, Her Majesty wishes to dine this evening." The Baron looks up and says, "Ah, yes, Lady Seaton. Yes, very well then. Her Majesty can eat with us. Yes, that's quite all right. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be joined by royalty this evening at our dinner table. None other than Mary, Queen of Scotland, will be dining with us. She is a guest here at Mortonbury Castle.
Interesting.
So if you wish to dress for the occasion, you may use my costumes, you may use my wardrobe. Lady, you are very welcome to try. You're roughly the same figure as my dear wife. My wife and children have been sent away from Mortonbury Castle to protect themselves from the plague.
May I ask, is Mary Queen of Scotland, she's no longer in the tower?
She is a guest here. She had been at Tudbury Castle previously, sent there by the Earl of Shrewsbury, and none other than Lord George Talbot himself, the 6th Earl of Shrewsbury, and now he has bidden me to care for her at this castle, and I have the honour of being her keeper.
And she's no longer under threat?
She is my guest of honour, and I am pleased and delighted to do her any pleasure or honour that I may, while she is a guest at my home.
Just remind me, what year is this?
It is the year of our Lord, 1575 Anno Domini.
Sorry, I think that's before I marry her. Okay, never mind, nothing, it's fine, yes. No problem.
All her expenses are paid for, and it is the greatest honour, and I even have a signed letter by Her Majesty the Queen, thanking me for my service in caring for Queen Mary.
That's quite a change, and that sounds very promising.
Indeed. We now want nothing but the very best of things for
a change of history there.
For our lady.
Well, good job I'm dressed for the occasion. I'll have you know this flat cap was from some Romanian gypsy travellers who used to be royalty.
Ah.
Do you know anything of Romanian travellers?
No.
And with that, some servants walk in and bow to you and say, "Come this way to your chambers, please." And so what are you going to do?
I will follow them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to go get my outfit on for the party.
Okay, good. Right. So you're all getting dressed.
I'm just straightening out my bow tie again, thinking I look perfect. Oh, thank God I wore these red trousers. Perfect for a ball.
I am so excited to meet Mary Queen of Scots.
Well, let's just say she grows on you. And then she could turn against you if you say the wrong thing or marry her the wrong way and go away for a while. That's a long story. So
you're still in your doctor garb, but have you got changed as well, Nolan?
Yes, I changed.
Okay, the material is so coarse and itchy. But at the same time, quite pleasant to wear. It's you've never worn. Normally, when you wear clothing in the 22nd century, although it covers you up, it also has no texture or feel to it whatsoever. It's so light and easy to wear. It's like wearing nothing at all. So actually, wearing clothes feels really restrictive and stiff and itchy and all that sort of thing. But actually, at the same time, you quite like it because you're actually wearing clothes for once. So, you're bidden into the main hall where you have sat down for dinner. First of all, a very refined, very well-dressed figure walks into the room, looking quite serious. She seats herself at the head of the table, And she has her lady-in-waiting, who is the lady that you've just seen, Mary Seaton, comes in as well, and sits next to her. They have a retinue of 6 servants who come in with them as well, tending to them, pulling the chair out, making sure that all the cutlery is set out properly, all those sorts of things. And then Lord Percival comes in as well. Sir Aldrich Hanson, the one who looked after Orla so well, comes in as well and sits down. Dr. Field comes in as well. And then yourselves. And you're all sat round this long table. The first course is mutton pottage, which is a sort of, it's basically stew, basically. We would call it a stew. But it is very, it's got a lot of tang, a lot of flavour to it. Okay, when you're looking at it, Stu, it just looks very bizarre. It's totally, completely different from the sort of food that you normally eat, which is sugar-ridden, all sorts of bizarre colours. This is really basic looking, really spicy. It smells a bit sickly strong to you, actually.
Oh, lovely.
Is this a good moment to mention that Orla's a vegan?
A what?
Strangely, since I've been here, I think that has been muzzled. I no longer feel.
I
no longer feel the urge to be a vegan here.
Shell's going to kill you for having Orla here as a meat eater. What was the name of Dr. Spencer?
Sorry?
What was the doctor's name? The doctor's name?
Dr. Field.
Ah, Dr. Field, we've heard duck-tales of you.
No. I think you have me mistaken for someone other, sir.
Oh, sorry.
I think you mean Robert the Quack, our healer in town.
Oh, sorry, I got confused.
Do you need your horoscope taken, sir? Is that what you want? You want to read the stars themselves? For the stars rule all our lives. They tell our very fortunes, and Robert the Quack is the man to see for that, I must say.
I read them
His
this
skill is
morning.
exceptional. You did? And what did they say?
They said hello.
They gave you a greeting, did they?
Yeah, very friendly.
The stars are your brethren and sisterin, is that what you mean?
Well, you might say that.
Yeah, how very strange. So, you're eating, and Orla, make an awareness plus ingenuity roll.
Okay. 14.
While you're sat, is Orla actually having some of this pottage?
Yes, she is.
Okay, so you're spooning the pottage, and
And that's not a euphemism.
yeah, that's a phrase.
I love
Spooning
the
the
pottage
pottage.
very much.
Yes. Not a phrase you often use in such delicate company.
Spooning pottage in public.
Yes.
With Lord Hanson next to
My
me.
reputation.
Lord Hanson is sat next to you.
Ah.
He's got long, shoulder-length blonde hair, a lovely moustache and beard, and he is very handsome.
Mm-hmm.
And he sits with great poise. When he's sat like that, you notice what an athletic figure he's got. He's quite the dish.
Mm-hmm.
But what you do notice is that as he's sat there, he looks over every now and then at Mary, Queen of Scotland, with a wry little, nice little smile to his face, and a kind of faraway, dreamlike glint in his eyes. It's clear to you that he's flirting with the Queen of Scotland.
Mm. I shall then maybe tell him about my times with Robert Dudley.
Well, pray, madam, what do you mean?
Well, there was the time when we happened to meet Queen Elizabeth I, and obviously he was her favourite, and as soon as he met me, he roved his eye, and...
Yeah, we had to get out of there sharpish. Long story.
Yes, and that was why they never married.
Good heavens.
Mm.
He listens politely, and then he goes back to looking at Mary, Queen of Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
She really doesn't take a lot of notice in whatsoever. But what you do notice is that her chief lady-in-waiting, Mary Seton, is glancing over at him.
Ah.
So, the Queen of Scotland turns to you. So, you are a physician. How did you come to this land?
Yes, I'm the doctor. I came in my vessel. I have a ship of my own.
A ship? I see. And what lands have you visited? Have you been to Cathay, for example?
Oh yeah. I had an Americano. Oh, sorry. No,
I mean, the New World. You mean you've been to the New World? Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's the one. I've been many places on my travels. The New World, Cafe, down the Star and Crook.
Do you take me for a fool, sir?
Oh no, I never take a fool.
And you, young man, what is your name?
My name is no name.
She turns to Lord Percival. Lord Percival, who are these fools that you have in this evening for dinner? What are they, jesters of some description?
Ha! Well, yes, my lady, I brought some flowers which bring her.
Okay, make an awareness plus coordination roll.
9 plus 9, 18.
Okay, yes, you're able to do it, and it works really well. You are a conjurer, are you not?
I have my moments, madam.
Yes, I see. Traveller, you seem to have some mystery to you. You intrigue me, sir.
Oh, she's playing with me again. It's a bit early for that.
Hold on. Right, okay. I haven't rolled anything yet so far. You realise, actually, that she is a very attractive lady, the Queen of Scotland. She's getting on a bit, and she looks as though she's seen better years, but she's still very strikingly beautiful.
Okay, is this right? We've got to get our chronologies right. Is this before or after? Because the Doctor does marry Queen of Scots, doesn't he?
I think you'll find that's Queen Elizabeth first.
Is Queen Elizabeth? I wasn't
Yes.
sure if they had a plotline where...
Her stepsister, I believe.
Right, okay, yes, sorry, okay. Just checking what my timeline's like. Well, I do like to keep it in the family.
So did Henry.
Do you know my sister?
We met. Did she ever mention the Doctor?
She did. She mentioned some sort of absolute scoundrel.
No relation. I hate that guy.
She meant, yes, every time she used to bite her lips so hard they would bleed because she was so cross with him. The Doctor was some villainous rogue who made her fall in love with her and then just departed mysteriously as he arrived.
Tall skinny lad, I know. He keeps on taking my name in vain.
Oh, yes, that's right, yes. He was paper thin all the time. Almost gave her a cut every time he kissed her.
Tiny sideways, you could barely see him.
That's the one. Do you know this man?
I despise him.
His parting words to her was, "I don't want to go," and then he was gone.
Oh, I know, he's such a drama queen. I mean, he is such a drama queen.
Well, do watch out for him when you see him next, my friend.
Well, of course.
Good. I am glad, and she reaches out to your hand. I am glad
That's not my hand. Sorry, it was my arm. That's my hand now. Yeah.
I am glad that we were able to talk of this, for it means so much to me, for I care for Her Majesty and wish her only the very best of life and all its pleasures.
Of course.
I would love if the neighbours were watching out over the wall at that point. That would be a great moment.
If they were, like, for the listeners, we were literally holding hands there.
And if the next door neighbour says, "I have something to break to you tomorrow," I'm like,
I'm holding his hand going, "It's 2019, don't judge."
Okay, the next course, ladies and gentlemen, in this extraordinary feast, and I should have brought all this food round really.
Yeah.
Boiled pork loin and vegetables. And we're making
Barbecue Pringles?
Barbecue Pringles is a very good substitute, not for me, thank you.
oh, always.
Sir Alaric although he's gazing over at Her Majesty, suddenly, Orla, you feel his hand on your thigh. What do you do?
I remove his hand while he's gazing his eye elsewhere.
He looks over to you, takes a plump apple from a bowl next to him after finishing his pottage, and looks at you and just goes, and then he raises a quizzical eyebrow as he eats lasciviously the apple.
So I haven't just fallen out of a police box.
Roll.
You would need to try much harder than that.
Okay. Roll resolve and convince. This is a battle.
Yeah, I know, I've got them.
Okay, well,
Okay.
Dottie doesn't like this. She's trying to take the table down. It's like, proud this man.
So he doesn't really know what to say when you rebuff him in this way, and he's eating his apple. He suddenly goes and just looks a complete nincompoop.
has Lord choked?
Yes, I fear I have. Lady, you are too much for me.
Ah, funny you used to say that.
Right.
Yeah, that's what the last fellow said too.
So Sir Ulrich looks over to the Lord Percival. Lord Percival, we need more guards. I fear that the recusants will attack the very morrow. I fear that Mortonbury Castle may come under siege. And Lord Percival says, yes, I agree, yes. We must have more men. We must ensure that the battlements are manned. You young men, you would be ready for battle, would you not, if it came to it? If our castle was attacked, and the Queen of Scotland, our guest, was in danger?
Well, you understand, I'm more of a lover than a fighter.
Mary Queen of Scotland looks over with hope in her eyes.
I wink back at her.
But you would fight, would you? You young man, you're a fighting man, aren't you? And he reaches for your arm. Oh, maybe not then. The final course is a rather delicious looking cheesecake. Very nice. So outside you can hear the thunder and rain. It started raining very hard. Dr. Field says, I'm going to turn in for the night, but I wonder if the streets might be seeing the visage of the body snatcher once more. I wonder if they walk the streets of Mortonbury village this very eve, ready to take more lives.
We should stay and watch for this.
I fear I must turn to my bed. But I am weary after the day, but there it is, my friends. I am pleased to have met you, and I feel that things may change here at Mortonbury now that you are here.
Only for the better, I hope.
Yes, indeed. And I bid you a good night.
Good night.
And Lord, the other guests at the dinner table, including Her Majesty, all go off to their bedchambers. So what about yourselves?
I'm checking something to see if I've had any results through.
You have, in point of fact, and the TARDIS hasn't identified any particular medical diagnosis apart from the sulfhemoglobin anemia. But what it does say is that with a high concentration of iron, that might make living forms more susceptible to very strong magnetic fields. That's the TARDIS databank has come up with that analysis. So what are you going to do?
I'll share the results with my colleagues. With more sulfur in the body, that these people who are infected might be more susceptible to magnetic fields.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, I'm trying to do my best impression of lightning in the background.
can I look out the window?
It's absolutely caning down with rain. And every now and then there's a flash of lightning.
No name. Check your historical records. Was there meant to be lightning this night?
No.
Was that in or out of character?
Make an ingenuity plus knowledge roll. Although you're not connected to the interface, you do have a residuary of lots of files from when you last were. And I'm not kidding.
Oh yeah, should have asked.
22nd century technology can store scads of information.
It was ingenuity and what?
Ingenuity and knowledge.
Right, so 5, roll. 13.
13. You don't have any data on the weather, but what it does say is that Mortonbury Castle is attacked the next day.
Ooh.
There is an attack on Mortonbury Castle the following day. Today is the...
What have you found out?
Today is the... There are two historical facts that you can come up with. Today is the 7th of August, 1575. Tomorrow, which is Tuesday, Mortonbury Castle is attacked.
So Tuesday
The 7th of August. 1575. Well, you're going to put this down in your Doctor Diary.
1745.
1575. Beg your pardon.
1575. Sorry.
1575.
Cool. Just in case.
The 16th year of the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. In Portobello. And also, the other thing that you know is that around about a month ago, the last ever pitched battle between England and Scotland took place on the border, around the border between England and Scotland. England and Scotland at the moment are separate countries, separate kingdoms. Okay, so the general picture that you're getting is that there's a lot of warfare in the area, a lot of violent uprisings, and there's also a great deal of religious tension in the area, particularly because of the presence of Mary Queen of Scotland. Okay, right. So, what are you going to do? You going to turn in for the night, or?
Oh no, I'd like to go out and have a look, see what's going on.
Okay, we're going out into the streets.
We're going out into the streets.
All three of you, or?
No, I'm going to stay inside.
Okay, that's cool. Right. So
plug yourself in for the night. Might be an apt place to have a quick toilet break and maybe fulfill our refreshments.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's have a short break. We've been going at it quite a while.
Okay, and we've also been playing the game for a while.
Oh dear.
And we rejoin the game.
Thank you, Doctor Squee. Episode 2. We start off in Mortonbury Castle. No name, you've bid a fond adieu to your friends. You have been really overwhelmed by today. You know, it's an alien world as far as you're concerned. All the colours, the brightness, the smells. Where you're from, there's not really a lot of smell to the place in your futuristic, super sterile city that you live in. So there's such a profuse odour to everything around you. It's like a whole dimension of being has been opened up to you, and the food, all that substantial food that you've eaten as well, all that solid food, all those textures. It's just your body has just.
Does he need a prudy? Body's not used to it.
Well, you're slightly concerned that the drugs that Orla gave you might start to be phasing out a bit, might start to be leading off a little bit. So, because your tummy's feeling a bit queasy after, and especially that brown frothy liquid they call beer as well, that you had a couple of tankards of as well. It's all got rather too much. So you felt that you weren't necessarily going to be at your best. So that's why you're quite happy to retire to your bedchamber. In doing so, though, no name, while you're sat down, you're lying down, you're totally still. And for the first time today, you're actually just resting and your mind just wanders. And suddenly, your interface is crackling into life again. Make an ingenuity plus technology roll.
10.
Okay.
That'd be 18.
Excellent. When you interface, I think I mentioned before, to you it's more real than reality, and it's a whole dimension of feelings, of emotions, of sensation. A lot of the time, it'd be very difficult for us to put into words, into English, what the sensations and the thoughts and concepts that come to you from being interfaced are. But what you're getting at the moment, if I was to put it into words, it's a very distant voice saying, welcome, 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 over and over again. Just slightly out of reach. So what do?
Scream. I scream.
Okay. Boom, boom, boom. One of the guards is knocking on the door. Sir, what ails you?
There's something wrong with the interface.
Interface? What do you mean?
I've got cybernetics in my brain.
Sir, you are talking in some language I know not. Okay, we're going to leave that there for the moment. So you two, just before you set out, Dr. Field is just about to walk off to his bedchamber, but he comes back. Sir, if you are venturing out to assist and find what you can, may I recommend that you borrow this? And he has a spare set of clothing and the face mask that he had on earlier. I recommend that you wear this, but for then you will be known to the villagers as a physician, as a doctor, as a man of physique. And so the night watch, for example, you want to be wary of the night watch. If you don't wear this, they will think you're the body snatcher yourself.
Isn't my nose big enough already?
But the body snatcher did wear the outfit that you say.
He did. But the night watchman will be wary of them, so the night watchman will be scared of you if you have it on and keep their distance.
But they may also shoot you.
My fear is they have no arquebus, however you say it. they do not wield the musket, my friend. You have no fear of that. It will keep them at bay. You trying to sharpen my pencil, Benny?
Oh, very well.
As it were. I recommend that you do. Otherwise, you will be the night watch will just stop you in your tracks.
Okay, I put the outfit on, then put my flat cap on at the top.
So instead of wearing that big hat, you've got your flat cap on.
Yeah.
So Orla, he's now dressed as the plague doctor, and you may I wonder whether you ought to wear one too. And then he would be the plague doctor, and you would be the
Plague nurse?
Yes, indeed.
Of course, I will do so.
Okay, so you're both robed up, as it were. And I love the idea of you, a plague doctor wearing a flat cap. That's awesome. Okay, so
Well, I've got a spare flat cap.
Okay then.
I was waiting for them to tell me how to shut my flat cap.
I'm all up for a flat cap and take up.
Okay. So you're wearing those, and you step out of the castle. The guardsmen are falling asleep. They're not really taking that much notice, and you're able to slip past them and walk into Mortonbury village. It's absolutely torrents of rain descending down onto the place, cracks of lightning every now and then, and you're walking down the street. There are two rather large men, middle-aged men with long beards, straggly beards, wearing long cloaks, cats on top, both carrying long walking sticks with sharpened ends coming towards you. They say, "Halt! Who art thou?"
That got Benny's attention.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm the doctor. This is Orla. How are you doing?
"Are you from these parts, sir?"
Wow, my
A
dad.
neighbouring village.
"I see. You want to be careful out here. There's the body snatchers won't get ya. That may well. They can take any person out here. And you want to be careful of the collector. He's like you. You're not a collector, are you, sir?"
No, I'm more a hobbyist.
"The collector is like you, but he's 8 foot tall. And 10 foot wide he is, and he breathes fire and smoke from his arms."
10 foot wide? I lost a bit of weight recently, thankfully.
Are you sure you're not my father?
Don't have to be a Romanian traveller, do you?
"You may pass." So they let you go past. And as you're walking along, Orla, make an awareness plus survival roll, please.
9.
9. As you're walking along, you see down the other end of the far off, down the other end of the street, you see a door open slightly, and a female figure, still in her nightgown, wanders out into the street disconsolately, her arms sort of outstretched like this, just tottering along into the street, her eyes closed.
So that's a Frankenstein pose for anyone listening. Arms outstretched.
Thank you. It's role-playing by radio, this really, isn't it? It's marvellous. So you see this female figure dressed in this way, wandering around. She's walking, she staggers out of the house, seems to find her footing, and then she's walking away from you down the street. What are you going to do?
We're going to approach her.
Okay.
We're going to approach her and we're going to check to see if she's been bitten. Because she could be sleepwalking.
Okay. You're able, because she's shuffling along, you're able to eventually catch up with her. And make a ingenuity plus medicine roll, please.
Ooh, 16.
Yes. You're able, even without touching it, every now and then, in the wind and the rain, her nightgown shifts to one side, and you can see the marks on her neck.
Dr. Squee, let's follow her.
Dr. Squee? That's it. That's another fellow.
Oh.
The doctor.
Are you the doctor?
Yeah.
Are you not Doctor Squee?
Oh, no, I
Who
believe
have I
that's
been
it.
following all this time?
Oh, I believe you're following his excellent podcast, Gallifrey Stands, available on Krypton Radio and Podcast Land.
Ah, alternatively, his podcast yourself.
Oh, Due South by Southeast, you mean with Detective Squee, the
Yes.
companion show where they talk about Due South and drink rum. But enough of this conversation, I'm the Doctor.
Apologies for that ad break. This show was brought to you by Eagle
By
Claw
Patreon.com, where you can subscribe and pay a regular amount and keep the show going.
Are your eagle's claws dirty? Use quantified Squee Eagle Claw Cleaner now.
Teespring.com, you can buy a Gallifrey Stands t-shirt or mug.
Ah, the Doctor. What was that madness and insanity that I just saw of him?
Anyway, well, this lady.
Let's go. We should follow her, see where she's going to.
She's walking to the northeast of the village that would eventually lead to Mortonbury Forest.
Then let's go. Let's go to Mortonbury Forest.
Let's go.
All right, you walk after her. As you approach Mortonbury Forest, there's a long lane that runs alongside the edge of the forest. And at the lane, in the direction that she's walking, there is a cart with two horses being pulled by two horses that stopped. And on it are two rather sleepy-looking farmers. Although it's sheeting with rain, they have no hats on at all. They're just sat.
And for the radio, that was sheeting.
Yes, just for the senses.
We're not going to fall foul of the senses.
Yeah, no, absolutely. When they listen to it and scrutinise every word that we say, it was sheeting. Yes, thank you, Dr. Squee.
Krypton Radio, we got higher standards than when we were only a podcast.
I absolutely. Okay, good. I'm glad for that. We're gold star rated here. So, yes, as I was saying, it's sheeting with rain. But despite that inclement meteorological condition, the farmers who are sat on this cart are just kind of slumped forward like this, the reins in their hand for the horses, no attempt to cover up their heads whatsoever. And they're wearing their nightgowns as well.
We should go look. We should go and pretend that we are the same, and then we should sit on there and go where they go.
Room for a couple more.
Okay. So, are you going to clamber on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you clamber on, you realise that in the back of the cart with you, there's one other figure who's a rather fat, elderly gentleman, also in his nightgown, he's sat in the back of the cart, looking for all the world like he's asleep. Where he's looking as though he's asleep, you can see that there is a bite mark along his neck here as well, with the green bloody marks on it as well. Also sat next to you as well, when you clamber in, just before you get into the back, you see another plague doctor, but this figure is enormous. And the doctor is quite a tall, imposing figure himself, but this figure is at least 8 foot tall and very well built. And the mask that it wears over its head is enormous.
I think we've heard tell of you.
It looks up slowly like this. Looks over to you.
To Orla.
Is looking between you at the moment. Right, back to No Name. So the guard is banging on the door. What ails you, sir? What ails you? You were saying about your cybernetic influence. Well, I don't know what you mean. What pray tell are you talking about?
How do I explain this? It's before your time? Well, after your time.
Make an ingenuity plus technology roll again.
Alright. 17.
Okay. While you're talking to the man, suddenly the interface really activates. And this time, instead of being in the background, it's now right in your presence, in taking over your consciousness. And the voice this time is saying, you will be assimilated. You will become us. You will become part of our collectiveness. You will become part of the Cybermen collective consciousness. What do you do?
Oh crap.
No, it's called Oh Sheep.
Okay. The presence has now intruded into your very being itself, and it's now extolling itself down through your nervous system, controlling your body. Your body is no longer your own, and it's now flexing your arms and your fingers rigid out along with your legs. Okay, back with you lot. When you're in the back of the cart, this thing looks up at you and says, you have not been subsumed. You are not one of the ones that has been controlled. What are you doing here?
Just really in the neighbourhood, thought we'd drop in.
Okay, I can't really do the voice, but the voice is not a human voice. It has a mechanical, electronic tone to it.
Okay, I'm going to do my sonic.
Okay, roll.
Scam. So, it is, what am I putting together again? Ingenuity and technology, ingenuity and technology?
Yep.
Plus 2?
Yes, please. And then add two dice. I'm going to introduce a new rule at this point, because you've coped so well with the rules so far.
Indeed.
There's a thing called story points. Story points are a way of helping you, if you're in serious trouble, for example, you can spend story points. They're in the top, in the corner there. And every time if you spend one story point, you can add on an extra 2 dice. If you spend 2 or more, every further story point that you spend, you add on an extra dice after that. Ooh. Okay? Your opponents get story points as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm up to 17 and then 23, 24.
It's reading Cyberman. The figure in front of you is a Cyberman. It takes off the mask, and you see the blank visage of a Cyberman. As the lightning cracks, you can see the lightning reflecting, shining off the face of the Cyberman. The blank stare, the handles above its head. It has the unmistakable face and head of a Cyberman.
What are you doing here?
You will be deleted if you do not leave now.
Not today, my friend. I run at him to push him off the cart.
He stands up. Right, roll for strength plus fighting.
Okay. This is going to go so well.
Can I have a couple more dice, actually, because my guys get story points, as we're now using story points rules.
Oh.
Sorry, I said strength plus fighting, didn't I? Okay, so, right, roll.
7 plus 4. Can I use some story point?
You can do.
I'll use a story point to get 2 more dice.
Okay.
7 plus 4, so I'm on 11 so far. Plus 20.
You run at it to try and push it off the back of the cart. You've actually had to get into the cart, presumably, to be able to do that. As you do so...
Yeah, because we already got into it, didn't we?
Yeah. You were climbing up when he revealed all this.
Okay.
Okay. As you do so, you get into the cart to come at him. He reaches out with one arm like this and just backs you back, and you go staggering off the back of the cart down onto the ground below. Take off 1 point of strength from being winded, from falling back out of the cart onto the ground.
Oh, is it permanently off or just for now?
Just for now. It stands, and then it rips off the robing and is stood in the flash of the lightning with a rain scattering all around it in the back of the cart. It's raising one arm at you, Orla. You will be deleted.
I run at it. I won't be deleted.
Okay, what are you going to do?
I'm going to run and push him off the cart.
Okay, right. Strength plus fighting.
Worked so well for me.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, it's me and you.
Okay, I think what we're going to do...
I'm going to get some...
Beg pardon. What I want to do is go into the game's round structure. Okay, so how this works, and again, we're all learning here because I've not played this game a great deal, so I'm learning as I go as well. Is that everybody gets to say what they're going to do, and then if you're talking, you go first. If you're running somewhere, you go second. If you're doing something, you go third, and if you're fighting something, you go last. That's the way the game is structured. So. New round. So Orla, you're running at to push it off the cart. What about Doctor? You've staggered back. You're wounded, gasping for breath as you've been pushed out of the cart. What are you going to do?
I'm going to reach for my sonic, just for a change.
Sure.
I'm going to try and make a high frequency noise to try and disorientate it.
The Cyberman is going to fire at you, Orla.
In fact, sorry, can I just slightly tweak
Yeah.
that? Supposed to aim at him, I'm going to aim at one of the wheels of the carts to knock it out. To then
with the sonic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So disrupt the high frequency to knock out the wheel arches.
All right. Okay. Cool. The Cyberman is going to fire at you, Orla, with his positron neutralizer, and the 2 men in the cart and the.
Can I just ask this? Very important.
Yep.
Talking 70s, 80s Cyberman. We're talking like original one, the Mondasian Cyberman. We're talking about a new series Cyberman.
We are talking
Cyber Industries.
These guys.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we're talking modern Cybermen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Yeah, and so the man and the woman in the back of the cart are going to they're going to walk around and start coming after you, Doctor, and the 2 men who are driving the cart are going to start driving off. Okay, so you were running at the Cybermen, so you run up to the back of the cart.
I've also ducked to avoid fire.
Okay, cool. And do you want to re-roll Sonic? Because that's a doing.
So it is. Oh god, I'm trying to remember.
This is not normal use of the sonic screwdriver, I've got to say.
Sonic vibrations and sound waves. Is that not Sonic itself?
It is, but trying to make such a catastrophic change in one round is pushing Sonic's screwdriver technology to the limit. So
Depends on who's writing it at the time. It can do some wonderful things. Correct
so
writer.
this is going to be tricky.
Okay, so what am I rolling for? Or what?
Ingenuity plus technology.
22, 23, 24, 25.
Okay. Yes. As you're okay, do you want it works? Do you want to describe what happens?
Yes, the back wheel which I aimed it at, because I'm not greedy, buckles
Sure.
and gives way, thusly sending the cart over one edge. I purposely aimed it for where the Cyberman is,
Yep.
so he's falling backwards. I'm guessing, unfortunately, seeing Orla's running towards him now, but she'll hopefully kind of go over him. But like basically, the cart veers over to one side, so it would be the ground falling from underneath him.
Okay. Ah! The Cyberman cries out as it falls. It staggers. It stumbles as the cart gives the axle on the cart gives way, and it falls to one side. It's still got its arm trying to blast you, though, Orla. But you're ducking as well, aren't you? So can you roll your coordination plus fighting, please?
Can I ask one question? If we
Yeah.
change story points or get them, do I drop? Is it 1 dice for a point or 2 dice for a point?
It's 2 dice for the first point, but if you spend 2 story points, that gives you 3. Every extra one gives you an extra dice.
Okay.
So if next time I play another one, would it be 2 dice or 1 dice?
If you use it depends how many dice you want to use at that time.
But I mean,
So-
if I use one more story point next time, is it back to 2 or is it 1 after the first initial usage?
It's 2 dice for every one. The first story point that you use for any particular action.
Got you. That's what I was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I use 2 story points, I can have 3 dice, yeah?
Yep.
Cool, that's fine to do.
Coordination plus marksmanship.
16.
Okay. 4, 5. We are going to spend 1 story point. Right. Okay.
Or 2. So I have 3 dice.
Can I have another dice? Thank you very much. So what did you total, Orla?
My total was 16.
20. It's a hit. You are stunned. Although it falls with amazing accuracy, although it's falling at the time, Cybermen are so accurate, it's able to stun you. So you're dazed on the floor. Okay? Right. In the meantime, the man and the woman in the back of the cart have toppled out of the cart as you've broken the wheel off, and they are on the floor, lying on the floor. The 2 men are trying to whip the horses to make them move, but the cart's not really going anywhere because you've broken the back axle, as it were. So, okay, that's the end of that round.